motoring future that promotes zero emissions and cars that run off the same batteries as your laptop are not esoteric illusions, but a 21st century reality thanks to car companies like Tesla. The Silicon Valley startup may have only started trading in 2003, and the Model S may only be its second ever model, but it has the technology and ability to move the dial significantly. The Model S may look like a slightly derivative saloon, but under the skin is a daringly ambitious project that really could have only come from a company that sits outside of the automotive arena. Tesla has developed the Model S as an all-electric car from the ground up, and that means the mechanical layout is very different to what you get in either a conventional petrol engine car or even some electric cars on the market that may have inherited some previous architecture from petrol-powered models. The batteries, for example, are a great case in point. There are 7,000 lithium-ion cells here, stacked vertically in a giant tray that sits underneath the car, and that helps for a number of reasons. It helps centralize the mass, then it helps lower the center of gravity to improve your handling characteristics. And because the under tray is completely flat, it also contributes to a drag coefficient of just 0.24. Another advantage is the flexibility you get in both styling and practicality. At the front of a car, you'd normally associate it with an engine, maybe a radiator grille, but here, the front grille is totally sealed and you've got loads of storage. It's a similar story in the boot. Because there aren't any fuel tanks or exhaust systems to worry about, the boot floor is actually large enough to accommodate a pair of occasional rear seats that are perfect for children. If you feel more at home pressing buttons and loading CD players, then the cabin of the Model S may come as quite a culture shock. Aside from having your gear selector stalk, the electric windows, the electric wipers, pretty much everything else is controlled via this huge 17-inch touchscreen display. And I do mean everything, from controlling the sunroof opening, to controlling the boot opening, controlling the lights turning on. I can even select the ride height of the car, the weight of my steering, and when I'm charging up the car, I can even select what time I want the charging to start in order to take advantage of any off-peak rates. It does pick up a bit of glare on sunny days, but it is without doubt the most intuitive interface in a car that I have ever tested. And the cup holders are quite cleverly located well away from the system to avert any potentially dangerous spillages. If you spec the optional tech pack, which includes Bluetooth, a full web browser and permanent 3G connectivity to the internet, which is free for 4 years, it's going to transform how you use a car. Let me show you to demonstrate. This is with the voice activation hooking into Google Maps. Navigate to Wimbledon. So I've put it into the voice activation. It's kind of like a Siri with Apple, and it loads it up into Google Maps. So I've got my options now here. This is just amazing. So it shows me the real-time traffic data, so it can give a very accurate presentation of how long it's actually going to take me, rather than just measuring an A to B distance. When it goes to music, again, yes, you've got USB connections here to load some stored music files, but why would you when you've got access to the full World Wide Web? So I can do it again. I can search for tunes. Play Trouble by Ray LaMontagne. And again, it'll hook up to a system through Audio, which is kind of like a Spotify system. Again, it's all free, and it brings me up my search listing for Ray LaMontagne, even picking up my accent. And then it takes 3G connection to stream it and play it, and with a bit of luck, isn't that just sick? That is amazing. Unfortunately, there are a few downsides in this car. Perceived quality is one of the big ones. At this price point, it's a bit too patchy in places for our liking. Some of the plastics aren't soft touch, some of them are a little bit scratchy, and when you're competing with the BMWs and Mercedes of this world, they need to be better. The seats too could do with a bit more sculpting and support, and while you can get 3 adults in the back, that raised floor makes headroom a little bit pinched. first time you squeeze the accelerator on the Model S is a memorable one, because not only is it serenely quiet, it is absolutely rapid and instantaneous. Power comes from either a 60 kilowatt hour or an 85 kilowatt hour battery in various states of tune, including this range-topping Model S Performance. Now this thing accelerates to 60 miles an hour from rest in an obscene 4.2 seconds, but if it was our money, we'd probably go for more of a mid-range 85 kilowatt hour version. You may lose out a little bit on the 0 to 60 sprint time, but you still get the really stable handling characteristics. You still get an 8-year unlimited mileage warranty on these batteries. You also get the maximum 300-mile range that's been estimated by Tesla. Now in the real world, we've probably experienced that range going down to nearly 220 miles, but it's still significantly better than any other electric car on the market. And it also goes past that barrier in breaking the confidence of range anxiety and helping people acknowledge that they can probably actually do their commute in a range like that and not rely on any of the municipal charging points, and just be confident to get home and charge their car from there. When you come to charge the Model S, the process is easy enough with what's known as a Type 2 charging connection, and that's a universal fitment that's being rolled out across the UK's expanding number of public charging stations. Using one of these public stations, however, does require membership, as we've got a plugged-in Midlands card for this one. The Model S brings credibility, luxury and a useful range to the electric car category. For now at least, the UK's infrastructural shortcomings and the necessity of a home charging point mean it isn't going to be for everyone. But it helps move us several steps closer to becoming a genuine alternative to petrol and diesel.